Welcome back to Primetime News. Special welcome to the folks watching on onespotmedia.com. First, the latest on the by-election in East Portland. The JLP's the Jamaica Labour Party's Anne-Marie Vaz, in a stunning upset, has won the by-election in that constituency. With all 127 boxes counted, Anne-Marie Vaz won 9,917 votes to the PNP's Damian Crawford 9,611 votes. Now, Anne-Marie Vaz will, of course, if these results stand as their preliminary, will be the next Member of Parliament for East Portland. Mrs. Vaz will now join her husband in Parliament. This evening we have team coverage beginning with our reporter Andrea Chisholm, who now joins us live. Andrea, what's the latest?
Thank you very much, Archie and Janella. Well, after an intense day in the constituency of Portland Eastern, the ballots have finally been counted. We're here at the counting center at the Port Antonio High School in Port Antonio, and we can tell you that Damian Crawford, as you heard, has won the... Well, let me apologize for that. Not Damian Crawford. We can tell you that Anne-Marie Vaz has won the constituency of Portland Eastern. She has received 9,917 votes to the PNP's Damian Crawford 9,611 votes. So the JLP's Anne-Marie Vaz has won the constituency of Portland Eastern. I am now joined by Director of Elections. Thank you so much for joining us here, sir. Could you just come this way for me, please? How was today? Your last voter turnout was at 3 o'clock. Do you have any updated figures for us?
Good night. Actual turnout was 53.5%, which is much higher than 2016, which was 43%. As you said before, these are preliminary figures. The final count will start tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Okay. And tell me a little about, is it a little unprecedented? Because I remember that in the morning we had a 40-odd%. Was there any increase in the amount of persons who actually came out, and was this weird?
There was an increase at 11 o'clock was 25.7%, and it increased to 43%, and the final count is 53% electoral turnout. So the increase, and I said before, relatively compared to other by-election, this is a high ballpark. We go.
Okay. Any challenges throughout the day?
There are some minor challenges, and the main challenge was in terms of the process. Some people complained that the process was slow. But there was a number of issues that caused that. One of the issues that caused that was that a number of electors turned out without their voter ID cards, and that slowed up the process. And there were a number of elderly persons who came out to vote, and that also slowed up the process. Apart from that, there are no major challenge for the day, apart from a lot of hard work for the staff.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
All right, so let us take a look at what happened earlier in the constituency of Portland Eastern when I visited a few areas earlier today.
Nothing unusual for residents of Portland. Tar-black skies and large clouds meant rain on by-election day, but supporters were prepared, cloaked in party colors. Then there was this, bumper-to-bumper traffic throughout Port Antonio. At the International University of the Caribbean in Snow Hill, voting was in full swing, but not before a squabble.
We had a little hiccup earlier when the Jamaica Labour Party persons were trying to rush the polling station, but we got it under control between myself and Mrs. Favor Williams. We came to an agreement, so we all came back on this side, and she brought back her people on this side.
Both groups, to be fair, were too close to the polling station, and tempers flared, but they got the better of themselves, and both groups retreated to their proper positions.
That issue aside, activities took place under the watchful eyes of the security forces, backed by heavy-duty equipment, some seemingly from as far as St. Anne. Shooting incidents in East Portland as recently as March 31 on West Street have led to concerns.
The concerns really related to statements that came from the JLP, which suggested that the acts of violence were politically motivated, and there was no evidence either from the police or from our own ground information. And our concern was, if you put out information which indicates it's politically motivated, you may motivate people to try and retaliate. And so that was the concern that we had, because the police has yet to indicate that any acts that have taken place since the by-election have anything to do with politics. So I think, the minister, who is the general secretary, needs to exercise greater caution in the statements he makes.
Anybody in politics in Jamaica, if somebody gets shot in a green shirt, you'd be concerned during the middle of a political campaign. There are two other individuals in the scene, but that was our concern, and we maintained we were concerned that the person was shot while coming from a Jamaica Labour Party meeting. The police did detailed investigation and thought that the incident was not politically related because it would seem the primary target was involved in some kind of altercation with somebody else.
Portland has one of the lowest number of murders, so what's the plan to address the flare-up of violence?
The police have responded very well. I drive to the town and feel quite, not only feel safe, but I feel the police have responded very positively. There's almost more police than voters in some of the areas out here now. So I hope it will remain incident-free for the day. The intelligence are indicating where they're moving, and the police is taking operational actions to deal with it. That's strictly within the police ambit of operations.